Welcome back, guys, for another episode of Contractor Tips. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about core values. I want to educate you about what core values are, why it's important to your business, how to discover your core values, and then we're going to talk about how to implement them into your business. This topic is very near and dear to me because fundamentally, core values is one of the ways that I help shape the culture of my construction company. Our core values have evolved a little bit over the last 10 years, but for the most part, the verbiage has changed, but the meaning, the actual value itself has remained the same for 10 years because at the end of the day, they're a representation of me, and it's a guiding force for my employees to be able to make decisions like I would make those decisions. Let's jump into it. So what are core values? Core values are your deep-rooted beliefs. They're beliefs and character traits about, how you perceive the world. It's how you've been shaped. It's a little bit of your environmental impact, how you were raised, and all that plays into your internal core values. Like one of mine is I have a high work ethic. I grew up watching my dad basically slave away on his own company, work crazy hours. He invited me to work. I started going to work with him when I was like 8 or 9 years old. So I've grew up knowing that it's important as a character trait to have high work ethic and work hard. So that's where your core values kind of come from, but they're an internal thing. They're a representation of your decision-making process and the things you think through when you're trying to make decisions for your own life or for your business. I wanted to share with you what the core values for my company, Exco Custom Homes, is. I use the acronym BUILD. The B is blissful dissatisfaction. U is understand your worth. I is intentional communication. L is little things matter. And D is for do the work. You can take those and explain what each of those categories means. Like blissful dissatisfaction is about being happy where you are, content in the day-to-day operation of your business, but still chasing after that kind of greatness, improving your processes every step of the way. So why are core values important to your business? Core values become the guiding force for all of your decision making. When you're faced with a difficult decision, you can look at your core value list and kind of question each one of those and say, does this decision that I'm about to make live up to each of these core values? And usually that guides you one way or the other. By having these core values in place as part of your decision-making process for your company, you're going to be able to shape your company culture based on this. You're going to create a company culture that believes kind of like you believe. Not that we want an army of robots, but we want people that fundamentally believe a similar way that we believe in our organization. So now you know the importance of having core values and what they are. So how do we find your core values? When you're trying to identify your core values, it's important to get other people involved in that process. You can, Google a list of core values, print it out, and have 5 or 6 of your closest people in your life, friends, family, your spouse, maybe a business partner, maybe some employees. Kind of go through the list and have them circle 5 or 6 character traits that they feel like best represents who you are. You can do the same thing for yourself, but it's important that you get a third-party opinion because they're going to see how you interact in the workplace, how you treat people, and how you make decisions. All of those things are going to influence your core value list. Once you kind of have, 5 to 10 core values, you can kind of distill it down and look through it and figure out what's the most important 4 to 6 that you believe is important for everyone else in your organization to also agree with. You can have a different list of core values for your business and then your personal life, but it's important that there's congruency there. Your business is a representation of who you are. Your core values represent what you believe in. So your core value list for your business and your personal life should align. The list for each of your businesses and yourself doesn't have to be exactly the same. For all of my businesses, I use different acronyms such as BUILD for Exco, TRUST for Elahar, and then we use BEANS for Anchor Coffee Company. At the end of the day, though, the core value list is still a representation of who I am and what values that I want each of my employees believing in inside of each of my businesses. So now you have core values. How do we implement those into your business? How do you use them as a tool? To start with, you can implement them as part of your hiring process. You want to be vetting people based on your core values to see if their values align with yours in the interview process. You can build scenario-based questions to see how they answer them and see if that response aligns with each of your core values. By doing this, you're going to screen candidates early in the hiring process to see if their values align with your values. It's much better to use scenario-based questions than to just ask them if their values match your values, because in an interview when someone's trying to get the job, they're just going to agree with you. So by using scenarios and situations and how they would handle those situations, it's going to let you better vet their actual opinion and what they actually believe in. So not only can you use it in hiring, you can also use your core value list in the firing process. You want to hold people accountable to living up to your core values. So violations in your core values become a reason for you to have an immediate pause button, a meeting with that employee, and implement a performance improvement plan to get them back on track and in alignment with the values that your company believes in. This is way more important than them making errors or mistakes or violations like that are more traditional. But you really want to hold people accountable to your core values and make that a reason for a performance improvement plan or even termination. By having this part of the process in your company, even having them memorize it in the first 30 days is going to create a culture around living up to your core values, and the members of your company start holding each other accountable to those core values. By building a value-based business over time, that's going to strongly influence how that culture grows over time, over 5-10 years of building your company. You're going to continue to attract like-valued people, kind of like-minded people, but people that believe in similar values to you, people that put importance on some of those similar values, and that's going to enable you to grow your company a lot easier because you're going to find people that believe like you believe, which is going to enable you to more quickly trust them, to foster better, easier relationships, and for there to be less conflict in the workplace. Having strong core values for yourself and for your company is going to have so many benefits. It's going to be the main way that you influence the culture of your workplace. It's also going to lead to positive impact on your employees as they strive to live up to those core values at the office. It's going to bleed into their personal lives. There's a lot of companies that do this very well that you can look at and see the change that happens as people buy into the mission, they buy into the core values and the belief system of that company, and that becomes part of their own personal culture as well. These core values are also going to allow you to have impact on everyone that's involved in your organization, from screening clients and subcontractors and vendors that you have relationships with. There's nothing wrong with firing a potential client or a client mid-project because they clearly are violating your core values. So let's recap this video. We went over what core values are, gave you some examples of that. We talked about why they're important, how do you find your core values, and then we went into ways to implement those into your business. Core values are such a fundamental, useful tool. It's one of the things that I teach early on in the business coaching process to all of my clients. We've got to make sure that you have a guiding set of principles that you're going to operate your business by. This becomes very fundamental and foundational for your business growth and your growth plan. It's going to be foundational for how you hire, fire, and build your team. Don't overlook something so simple as this as something that just goes up on the wall and you forget about. Take it super serious. Incorporate your core values into all of your team meetings and be talking about them constantly. You want to talk about it so much that people are almost annoyed at how much you care about them knowing about your core values. If this video helped you get more clear on core values for your business, please like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend and help them grow their business. If you need more help, please check out the links in the description where you can schedule a call with me. You can look at hiring me as a coach or consultant, as well as check out all my other social channels. If you need anything from me, please don't hesitate to reach out. Until next time, Nate out.